It's 104.3 MYfm with Jon Comouche, and I'm sitting here with Maddie Zahm. And first of all, I just got to preface this by telling you, I'm actually pretty excited that you're here because I remember watching your season of American Idol. Like, I literally remember your episode, so like this is so cool to me that you're here right now.
Oh, I'm happy to be here.
Does it feel like that was like a lifetime ago?
100%. I mean, I live with Katie Turner from that season.
That's right.
Yeah, so it's kind of funny. Sometimes we'll just remember that we were on that, and it feels like high school.
I bet.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you feel like a different
talking-
person than you do then, I feel like.
Yeah, sometimes when people like mention American Idol, I'm like, oh yes, correct. That's I was a part of my life.
Also, how are you feeling, by the way? I saw that you recently went through surgery like not that long ago,
Yeah.
and you're just here working again. So how you feeling?
Yeah, it's been good. I think surgery is hard and difficult, but at the same time, it feels very full circle. You know, skin removal surgery is pretty intense, but.
I was kind of following along on TikTok on a little bit of that journey because a number of years ago, my mom literally had the same exact surgeries. You did. The same exact ones. And I'm sorry, Mom, putting your information on blast here, but I just remember like helping her through that recovery process. And I mean, to be honest, it was a struggle.
Yeah, it's brutal.
It didn't look fun.
No.
So I was just wondering like how you're doing because it's only been a couple of weeks and now you're back on the road. You're doing a show next week. Like feeling all right?
You know, as much as I can sit, I will. But honestly, my dad always calls me a tough cookie, so I'm glad to be backing up. It's kind of hard for me to rest, but this has really helped me the past few weeks just make sure that I've been resting.
I love that.
I also did a couple Instagram stories while I was high on painkillers, and I have no recollection of
No!
Yes.
But it's out there for the world to see.
Absolutely. So that was really fun for me to wake up to.
I've probably seen them then.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to tell you, I didn't know you were on painkillers.
Oh, well, I mean, someone was like, I'm having relationship issues, and I was like, steal the Declaration of Independence. That's not good advice.
It's actually a pretty good solution to anything. Nicolas Cage would disagree with you.
You're right. Sorry, Nicholas. But yeah.
I want to talk a little bit about before this new EP, because I feel like your life has changed a ton. You've blown up like crazy in this past year, but I'm thinking back to these American Idol days and maybe before. Did you always want to be an artist?
No. Honestly, I auditioned for American Idol mostly because I didn't want to go to class.
Yeah, and I feel you there.
I legitimately told my parents, I was like, I don't really want to go to school. And so I drove down to Utah and auditioned, and I have this like internal just joke with myself. I can't believe that I made it as far as I did on American Idol.
Yeah.
I forgot all my lyrics. I think.
No.
I mean, it was similar to like my experience with swimming, where it's like I was terrible. I was terrible on the swim team. I think people kept me around for like morale.
Like I said, I saw your first episode. That's literally not the case.
Okay, that's so nice. But
I do appreciate it.
But forgetting your lyrics is like the number one no-no.
But I feel like it happens. All the lights come on and
You're
like
right.
the different nerves sit in, and I get that.
But the amount of times that I went back to school before or after American Idol to be a special ed teacher is kind of crazy. I'm surprised that I went back 3 times trying to do special ed, and even still I have like a passion for special ed.
I feel like you have the energy for that. Like it takes a patient person to do that.
Thanks. That's really nice. It's the colorful shirt.
It might be.
It might be.
It might be.
But yeah, no, I didn't always want to be an artist, but I think now I feel like in some ways my project is helping people the same way that I would be if I was a teacher, so that's why I'm okay with the trade-off.
It's still as satisfying.
It's still as satisfying and still as I feel like helping people overcome the stuff that I did in some ways feeds that teacher brain in me, and the moment that it doesn't is probably the moment that I'll go and do something else, you know?
So moving to LA, that was before this year, right? So that was, when did you move to LA?
No, so it was actually, I'm trying to think, 8-9 months ago.
So
less than a year.
What is the decision like when you're like, I'm going to pick up everything, move to LA and give this a real shot? Like what was going on in your head when you make that decision? Because that is scary.
That's terrifying.
Yeah.
No, I was supposed to move to Nashville actually because I got signed to a publisher over there, and I was going to be a country singer, and I was just dead set on that route. And then I turned in my project, and my publisher was like, "This isn't you," and I said, "That hurts my feelings." So then they planned a little trip for me to come and write out here, and I just loved it and realized that I was writing more authentic stuff. And so I just kind of never left. Like there wasn't really a go back and get my stuff kind of thing. It just was really a start over thing.
I'm always so curious when people move to LA because I grew up here in Southern California, so to me it kind of feels like home. But when you move to LA, based on all the rumors you've heard about it and kind of what your idea in your mind might have been of moving out here, did it meet your expectations when you got here?
That's interesting. I think it was odd coming back because I was here for American Idol.
Right.
And I think when I was here for American Idol, I was very, number one, closeted, very religious, very like black and white. And my experience was very scary here. Like everything felt so big and daunting and scary. And so when I came back and I had kind of started these transitional periods of my life internally, I fit in more is what I found. And I think that was something that, you know, people always warn you, like, don't move to LA, like you'll lose your soul, that kind of thing. And I think what was interesting is that LA, I don't think it would have mattered where I was at. I think it was getting myself out of that place to be able to give myself the space to become who I think I was supposed to be. And so it did match my expectation in I am not the same person that I was that moved here a year ago, but I like this better.
Do you feel like it's as big and daunting now that you're here? You kind of settled in and you have a different perspective on it maybe?
You know, I think it can be daunting, but also it's kind of what you choose to make it. Like, it's a big city, you know. I think I've become a lot more, you know, close friends, knit. Like, it can be a really big city experience, or you can just live in LA and live the same life that you were living. You know what I mean? It's what you make it. So it doesn't feel as daunting.
Did you find new friends when you came here? Like, do you have a group of friends that you made from moving to LA?
Absolutely. This has really been the first time that I've had a group of friends that I have like so meshed with in a way of like, I mean, the gays are just the best.
Very welcoming.
They're the best. So
100%.
Yeah, it's been really interesting, and I love my friends from Idaho and yeah, but this has been a new.
I was actually just having this conversation last night with someone who just moved to LA, and what was the way you made friends? Because when I was talking to them, they're honestly trying Bumble BFF and like everything you literally can to try and make new friends. And I've never really had to deal with that. So I'm curious, like, what was your best way to make friends in a big city like this?
I'm gonna be real. I got invited to a lesbian slip and slide, and it has been all social all since.
That's
so
the key?
Yes, yeah. I think for me it was just showing up once and then just, you know, meeting another person. So it's really just getting out and going and saying hi to people.
Just putting yourself out there.
Yeah, absolutely.
So just fast forwarding a little bit, when you go to start this new project that you've been working on, what was the thing that changed where you're like, I'm turning this around, I'm doing something different? Like, what sparked this new project?
I think when I got shut down by my publisher being like, this is not your project, I kind of really just did a 180, moved to LA, talked to my management and was like, hey, like I don't want to be an artist anymore. I don't think we should work together because I don't want to be an artist anymore. I'm going to do just songwriting. And I think I really started writing the stuff that I was supposed to when I wasn't writing for it wasn't for anybody. Wow. Like, it really wasn't. It was just me finding therapy in my music, and the more that I started writing stuff that scared me, and honestly, the more I would think, oh, that one shouldn't be out. Those are the songs that need to. Those are the songs that needed to come out. So
in another universe somewhere, like, you're a songwriter.
Yeah.
You're not even doing this.
Yeah.
Was there someone that told you, like, no, this is what you got to put out? Like, this is 100% you. Like, what was that like? My
publisher, Rachel, honestly, for a while, she was my only team, and now I have this amazing team of people that I'm so thankful for. But Rachel and I really were just her and I there for a minute. And I remember when I showed her the project, every time I would send her a new song, it would be like, holy shit, Maddie, like, this is a project. And for her, it was really crazy because she's also queer, and just got engaged, and I love her and her partner. They are so just amazing, and having that queer representation that I didn't have growing up, in someone like Rachel, I think she kind of picked up tones that I was not living truth, and she really helped me see that this is a project, that I am an artist, and also that it's okay to be honest, and I don't have to hide, you know? I think sometimes we underestimate, like, how much even just the smallest support system can like, change our lives. 100%. You know what I mean? Yeah. So Fat Funny Friend was the first song that really came out, right? That really changed the direction here. For sure. Did you, I obviously didn't expect it to take off as much as it did, I'm assuming. Not even a little.
Yeah,
yep, not even slightly.
So what was it like discovering that started to take off? Like, did you see it the next day? Like, what did that feel like? What was that like?
Well, so I had kind of been on a weight loss journey during writing that song, and when I wrote that with Katie, we kind of had this discussion because we both had struggled with body dysmorphia, and Katie basically was like, "You need to release this song. It should be yours." And I was like, "All right, no." That's not happening.
Straight up, no.
Absolutely not. And I continued to lose more weight and realized that my window to share that song was diminishing, because as I was getting smaller, I know that, at my heaviest weight, had I have heard something that was so close to home and then looked it up and it was a small blonde, I would have been pissed. Yeah. I would have been so upset. That is not the representation that I wanted to be. And so I remember I kind of just posted a little bit video of it, and I was like, whatever is going to be will be, and if nothing happens from it, then at least like I gave it a shot. And so I posted it on TikTok, and it did nothing for, I think it was like a month or two.
Wow.
And then I was home, and that was kind of the weekend that I was really struggling with. No, you know what that is? I think that was also the weekend that I kissed a girl for the first time.
Okay.
And I remember just struggling with just all this chaos that was happening. And Rachel texted me and was like, "Maddie, go look at TikTok. You need to go look at TikTok." And I looked it up, and there was like 1,000 videos. And I was like, that is hilarious. That's funny. Right. Like, I said, that's silly. And then the next day I was like, another 1,000 videos. And I was like, what is going on? And I posted this video of me being like, I don't feel like I should be like the spokesperson for this. Like, I'm on a weight loss journey. And the plus size community and the body positive community was just so accepting and eased all my nerves. And so I leaned into it, and it kind of kickstarted everything. I found my management, and yeah.
So it felt like that really started to blow up at a time where you were really unsure of yourself. So like, it was the reassurance from the internet and the world. And
absolutely.
Like, no, we got you. Like, this is the thing you're supposed to be doing.
Well, and I wanted it to be our song, because that was the thing, is that I have this habit, and I've talked a lot about this, where like I was diagnosed with PCOS like 3 weeks, polycystic ovarian syndrome.
Okay.
Like 3 weeks before I went on American Idol, and then I was talking about it on national television. Like, I have this terrible knack of like being a spokesperson for things that I'm just figuring out.
Well, some people can't. Like, not everyone's on American Idol.
No, 100%. But
like what is PCOS?
Polycystic ovarian syndrome.
Okay, what does that mean?
It's basically just like a hormonal imbalance that was part of the reason that I gained as much weight as I did.
Okay.
And 1 in 10 women have it. But my parents always have this joke that like, it took me 3 weeks to then be on national television, like talking about it, and being like a spokesperson and trying to help people walk through it when I'm still walking through it. And so one of the things with Fat Funny Friend that I really wanted to make sure was that like, this is not me being like a spokesperson for the right or the wrong way to be plus size or be on a body positive or any, like, I am just a, at the time, a 23-year-old that is just learning to love her body. And so making sure that it was an our song kind of thing, so that the weight wasn't so heavy and the burden wasn't, Like, it's just your experience. It's just my experience, and it's certainly not a soapbox. Mm-hmm. It's just a shared experience. It's our song, I don't think anyone ever feels ready to be the spokesperson of those kinds of things. You know what I mean? Like, because no one's ever, when you're dealing with it, you're still dealing with it. Yeah. And then when you're done, you're like, well, I'm not dealing with it anymore. You know what I mean? So it's kind of challenging. Point. Yeah. When it comes to the rest of the songs on the EP, did you have those written before this all kind of took off with Fat Funny Friend, or did you think that some of that validation encouraged you to kind of be more honest with music? I think Fat Funny Friend and You Might Not Like Her were kind of in really around the same time. No, actually, that's not true. Fat Funny Friend was the first song. I had that for months. It started doing what it did. I started figuring out that I was queer, wrote You Might Not Like Her, and then it kind of kickstarted the entire project. So most of the songs were written very close together, except for Fat Funny Friend. That kind of kickstarted me feeling like I could be honest. Right. And I think, if anything, Fat Funny Friend is the reason that I came out, to be honest. Like, the plus size community and the body positive community. I genuinely don't think that I would have felt like I wanted to share that if I hadn't have been so accepting in the way of, like, I didn't have to present Fat Funny Friend perfectly. Like, I made probably so many mistakes in the way that I posted about it, and I'm sure that I didn't do it perfectly, and that's fine because I'm human. And that made me have the courage to be like, I'm not going to do You Might Not Like Her perfectly either, but I am going to have a community of people that are going to love me.
It's interesting to hear you say that, because going through the lyrics of every song in your EP, but especially Fat Funny Friend, what's shocking to me is I feel like there are no throwaway lyrics. Like, that's what's it's so crazy to hear you say that, because I'm like, no way. Like, everything punches, everything hits so hard, and after every verse, you're like, oh my God.
Thanks.
Like, even if you can't directly feel, you know, the same kind of pain, you can understand where you're coming from. And I think that's, in my opinion, like one of the most special things about music. And I really wish more artists would kind of be vulnerable like that, because, you know, I think back to some of the times that I'm going through that were tough in my life. And it really is the music from those artists that didn't hold back that got me through it. You know what I mean? And I love that, and I respect that about an artist, and I see you doing that.
Thanks.
And I feel like the world does. You know, like I feel like when I check out your TikTok, it's cool to see that the song inspired yourself too. You know what I mean? You're almost like crediting yourself to get through it, and I think that's extremely powerful. But then you see these people who reply to your videos, and they're really going through it, and you see how much it changes them. And I've I teared up. Like, I'm gonna be honest, like seeing some of that impact.
I mean, they're incredible. I feel like this number one honor, but also just, I'm just incredibly honored. I mean, even I talked about this a little bit a couple days ago. Like, walking down the street, there's a certain like look that you get from someone when you know that they know your music, and it's just this. It's very different, the connection that I have with the people that listen to mine, because it's so deep. And even, you know, seeing girls with their parents that, like, when they look at me and they give me that look, like, it's crazy to think that, like, they could be closeted. They could be like, it's this like question mark of like, which song, you know? And that's it's really a question of like, when I get that eye contact, it's like, I don't know which one it is. I don't know if it's religious trauma. I don't know if it's body dysmorphia. I don't know if it's sexuality. Like, I just wonder like which one. And I feel honored that I get to have those conversations with people, even if it's just through eye contact or any of that. It's just,
I can imagine like going through some of this music as you're writing it, like to be that vulnerable has got to be a challenge. Like, in general, I don't really like talking about deep feelings like that, but for you to just put it in a song, put it out to the world, millions of people are seeing it and hearing it. Does that still scare you? Because I feel like now you're kind of viewed as this courageous girl who just has got it figured out now. You know what I mean? Who's not scared of being judged anymore.
I hope that's not the case, but you know, it's exhausting. I'll be honest, and that's something that I've really been trying to figure out how to navigate, because, you know, I am very introspective and emotional and a Pisces and all those things, but there's also parts of me that like love shark figurines and Super Bowl Sundays and all those kinds of fun real life, you know. And so finding time for myself to be able to not be a spokesperson for things that are hard and just be able to exist has been kind of the biggest you know, goal of mine right now, because it is heavy, and also I don't have it figured out. Like, I really don't.
It's
like,
good to hear. None of us do, I feel like.
Absolutely. No, I'm just like really good at making it sound like I'm really good at making human life experiences like sound like I know what I'm doing.
That's a talent in itself, to be honest. It really
so
is.
Because I have no clue, and that whole EP is a giant question mark, and it leaves so much room for after, you know, like that's a beautiful part about being an artist, is that I get to change my mind, and I'm just feel very honored that people want to be on that journey with me for however long I get to do that, you know.
I mean, just saying you're an artist that's able to change your mind too. I feel like right now you are coming out with this music that is very heavy and very empowering, and I think that's got to have some rewards for sure that come with it. Do you ever get the urge to want to make music that's more about shark figurines or Super Bowl Sundays?
Yes.
Like, do you feel like that's coming someday?
It is.
Oh,
but
nice.
Also, I think, you know, I remember when we were shooting You Might Not Like Her, the video.
Okay.
And there was like this beautiful moment between me and my dad that when I came out to my dad, I didn't really give him the opportunity to respond the way that he probably would have. And so I take that on. And we both have worked through it. But there's a moment in the music video where I come out to my parents, and originally we were going to have 2 actors play my parents, and my dad came in, and he's just like a standard Idahoan dad that Like if you look up Northwest Father,
He's
like
what comes up on Google.
guy in Patagonia, like this man is like like hits the table and says, "Let's rock and roll."
Such
after
a dad.
paying, just a dad,
Yeah.
hates attention, and he came in and he was like, "I know that you guys hired somebody to play me, but I want a chance to react the way that I wish that I could have, and could I play myself in the video?" And it was like within that like 15 minutes, like I was on the couch, like coming out to my parents, and it was just this like emotional moment where we're all sobbing. Like those tears were very real in that video. But the best part about it is that my mom afterwards is like, she's very humorous, and she wiped her eyes and she was like, "Can you just write a fucking song about gum or something?" And I was like, "Yes, I'm sorry, Mom. Like let me get there. Like, gosh dang it." But yeah, so I think the next phase of my life is getting to talk about human experiences that are outside of the really traumatic ones, which is really exciting.
But this is where you're at, so it's honest. You know what I mean?
It's honest. Yeah,
100%.
absolutely.
And I feel like that honesty comes out through TikTok as well. Like, do you think that's kind of why you've had so much success on TikTok? Because I feel like the most authentic people tend to be the ones that do better. And you seem to have it figured out.
You know, I don't think anyone has TikTok figured out.
True, yeah.
I love TikTok for that reason, that it's such a space for authenticity, and I think that we're in this space where we are honestly like, it's hard to find authenticity. Yeah. It really is. Like, and I don't mean that in a negative way, but just I think we're all starting to be able to know what is real and what is not in a lot of ways. And so, and even, you know, the artists that I'm starting to listen to, Carol Aids, like you can just sniff it. You can just tell. And I think that's where I'm trying to navigate, is like, why am I posting this? Like, am I posting this to breathe light? Am I posting this to connect? Or, you know, I think TikTok can smell it. Yeah. And I don't want to be an artist that doesn't, I don't want to be an artist that is like just creating art to create art. Like I want to be a teacher, and I want to mean it, and I want to say it with my chest, you know?
I feel like that can be challenging because maybe some people are scared to be authentic, you know what I mean? So I think that's one of the rewarding parts, is to see that when someone is being honest, that's kind of what works, and it kind of encourages you to want to do that too. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I think social media is a topic I could talk about for 1,000 years. But ultimately, I'm very grateful for TikTok and the community of people that it's helped me find. And I feel honored that it helped me reach groups of people that I couldn't in Idaho. You know? And now they're coming to your shows. So you have 3 sold out shows now? I don't. Who? What's that feel like? That's what I want to know. Who? And not even just 3 sold out shows. You got LA, New York, and was it London? Yeah. Like, wild. What does that feel like? I mean, when they told me it was sold out, I was like, is it like a venue for like 13 people? Like, no, did my mom buy it? The Moroccan Lounge in LA, I've been to. I love that venue. And I was like, she sold that out? I don't know. What? It makes no sense to me, but I am excited. Have you gotten to perform a lot of these songs live yet? Not the ones that I'm going to be performing at the show. Wow. So I've performed the EP, but the follow-up stuff is going to be the fun gay kind of the lighter, the shark music. Figurine shit is coming. Yes. So pumped about that. Yeah. What do you hope that people that are coming to your show for the first time, what do you hope they experience at your show? Yeah, I mean, I think something that I realized, and part of the reason that this project took shape the way that it did, I wanted this EP to feel like church in a lot of ways. And so when it comes to the EP, I'd really love it to be just like a safe space for anybody to come and feel the feelings that I miss about church, which is the community and the sounds making you feel a certain way and the emotional conviction and all those kinds of things, but with a message that I believe in. And so if I can create a safe space for people not only to listen to my music, but also meet other people that, might be able to help them get to communities that they don't feel like they like. I want a space that myself 3 years ago would have shown up. Like, this sounds like something that you would have wanted. I would have wanted somebody to pull me out of that. Well, that is awesome. I'm so excited to see you at that show. I'm so excited to see the new music to come, to see where you go. Like, this is awesome. I could talk to you for hours, but it's been a pleasure meeting you. So exciting to meet you. Thank you so much. Maddie Zahm.